Hello and welcome back. I'm Joe, and this is a tutorial for Workers and Resources Soviet Republic. Today, I'll help you diagnose your power grid problems. If you have flickering lights just like this, or you think you produce enough power but there isn't enough power making it to your citizens, this is your video. Today, I greet you in the winter because this will help us see the overlays a little better. And also, you just saw at night, you can actually see where your power problems are. During the day, it's not as easy, but you can still see it. Sometimes you will see this flag up here. But there's a better way to diagnose your problems. Go to your overlays. Right now they're here. They will move over to the left side on the new UI. Just be aware of that. There's a building properties. And then there are these little filters down here. Click on the voltage. It will tell you who all has power like continuously and who's using how much. I like the megawatts a little better. They are a little more instant. And if you see, there are white and green numbers right here. The green means you're connected. The white means you don't currently have power. Now I have it super slow. If we do it on fast speed, we can see this cycling through white and green a lot. That means you have a problem. If you increase your distance for the camera, you can see it more widespread. Sometimes back here, the buildings are losing power, and I also have issues over here in this city. There's just power outages all over the place, and it's just like, okay, what is going on? That's what I want to help you find out today. With this overlay, one of the updates that recently came out was power lines will also show you the usage, and that is your clue. The color from green to orange to red, or green, yellow, red. Red means they're pretty much overloaded, and green means they are fine. So when you use the overlay, you may or may not see problems right away. If you look at this, I don't see a problem. I see all the wires in here, and I'm sure they're hard to see, so I'm sorry about that, but on white it's a little better than on the regular background. You can see that all the wires are green, but we still have power problems pretty obviously here. You also see that the substation receives or uses 0.3 megawatts, which the substation itself can power up to 2.5 megawatts. The large wires can deliver up to 2.35 megawatts, and I can tell you that, but you can also look that up. Over here it says 2.35 megawatts, however your substation has a max of 2.5. Now you may say, Joe, you have 2.94 watts used out of 2.5, and this is the maximum consumption here. You are not wrong, but for buildings, just residential buildings, it's okay to go around 150% of the max consumption. And I'm still below that, so this is fine, mostly because I have another substation right here. So what is going on? Why is there power not delivered to this area? And that's what I want to show you how to do that. So you need to take a holistic approach. All of this is green. This all looks fine. This power line goes here and this power line goes here. And there's nothing obviously wrong with it. The color changed a little bit. This is more like a lime green, but it's still not in the yellow or in the red, so nothing feels like it's wrong. But ooh, we see something here. There's an orange pole. The poles are supposed to be able to transport 18 megawatts, and again, you can look them up right here, megawatts 18, and depending which pole you use, yours may be different, and they will change colors accordingly. However, the substation's only delivering about less than 12. Let's go with less than 12. So this doesn't feel like it's overloaded either, but then once you look at it more, it becomes apparent that this little switch down here connects to everything to the left that's over here, and it also connects to everything to the right, which houses a lot of buildings, but also a lot of industry in this area. So just because you deliver a certain amount here, which is about 12, that's not the max number of 18, which would be split here, or split depending on how you need to use it. We're still delivering less than the power poles can handle, but that doesn't mean we have the power available. And you can see that the color changes. Now it's dark orange, so they're somewhat overloaded, but we're not at the max. So it feels like this may not be the problem. So let's find out what is. Looking a little further down the line, so this is the only entry point to this area. This is all yellow. Okay, this is yellow, and this goes through here, and that seems fine. There's no power outage here, so we know this is not the problem. Go a little further. Here's our power plant, our power unit. It produces pretty much the max megawatts per day that it can produce, which is 24. If you divide 1400 by 60, for the minutes in an hour, then you get 24. It is producing at 100%, so I know that I'm doing okay here, but something is just not right. So what can we see? Well, one of the things we can see, I have these lines over here. They're very dynamic, and they're connecting straight into rail connections, rail power lines, and they sometimes go super red and sometimes green, sometimes yellow. They're all over the place. But if you look at the megawatts here, we're looking at 10, 12, 13 used out of 24. So my rail network currently is using half of what my coal power plant can produce, easily half. And then I have a problem because it's directly connected to my coal power plant, mostly, not all of it, but what this means is out of 24 megawatts that I'm producing, which is a lot, you can have 60,000 citizens with that and you will be fine. Most of it, or half of it, goes to my rail network, which is all electric trains, but it's so dynamic, so it's really weird. It is dynamic because, let's go to an electric train, doesn't really matter which one. This one is electric. It uses 215 kilowatts, but it's low because it's currently already traveling. Now it's going up a hill. This kilowatt usage is going up because it's traveling up a hill. Same thing for if it starts. So this wattage is what drives the numbers down here. Just because you're using electric trains, you're making your network a lot more dynamic and moving around, and that's maybe okay, maybe you maybe expected that, maybe not. But since everything is connected here, the trains draw directly from the power plant. So half of it goes to here, the other half, when it's available, which right now it's not, because we're moving 18 megawatts to this switch. But only 16 make it to this one. So I know there's 2 megawatts used in this area. I think there's also a line that's already connected here. So out of the 18 that come out of the power plant here, which is the max that this power line can use, only 16 make it to the first switch where we split out the power, and some of it will go to the right, some of it will go to the left. The left over here tells me it's using 14, almost 15. So only 1 megawatt goes to the right here. So there's not a lot getting lost. But if you just go down the line, there's more and more power just dissipated. Now here you have 14 available, which makes me assume everything over here is green, which means we have enough power available. And this power line is yellow. Everything over here also has power besides the things that are not powered, which is totally fine. Sorry, I'm moving around there a little bit. But what you want to look for is where is the power going and how it's distributed. The problem, and I know I talked around this a lot, the problem is this area has the trains, and the trains are pulling all the power away. I'm going to stop it again once a little redder. So we are at 6 and 7, so this is 13 megawatts that one is pulling, which means there's only about 11 megawatts left over for the rest of the Republic, which goes to here, there's only 8, so there's more getting pulled away. And now, even though the power lines look like they are not overloaded and doing exactly what they need, there are white numbers over here. There's white here, and there is white here, which just means all the power is currently flowing into the network. So yeah, what can you do? What you need to do is give yourself more power to the network. Now, power flows like current, like in a river. It will just go one direction. It won't go both directions at the same time, and it will find the path of least resistance. In this case, resistance you can just treat as any nodes, and a node is like a switch or a substation or anything else. So if you have a long connection that connects the power lines together, that's just, the distance doesn't really seem to matter in this game. That's not how real life works, but it is in this game. So what you want to do is add more power to your network. How can you do that? Well, if you already know that your power plant is overloaded, add more power to the offenders, or the main consumers. One of the main consumers is rail. So since I don't have any more rail connections here for any power lines, I guess there's 2 more here, but we're already using all of this. Let's leave this one alone. What we can do is use other sources of power. I have a oil power plant here, and if you watch season 3, this is the map, and I'm glad I can actually show you all of this. This power plant currently is only producing barely anything, but it's really close to the rail network, so it will be pretty easy to use any open power connections that we have here. So let's just do that. There's 4 more open power connections here. There's some more here. Each rail electric connection gives you 4. So what we can do is dedicate this power plant to the rail that we just supply rail with power. And where should we do that? In this case, this is not how I'm going to play this game, but we're just going to connect them right here, have one come out and one come out next to it, and then we just add the railroad connections. And these are literally just to add power. You have to make sure that you use electric connections, but all my rail network is connected to each other, so you don't have to worry about all that. And when you use rails, don't place them in parallel, don't place them in series. If you put them in series, the power only goes from one electric connection to the next one. So putting them this way, they actually get combined. So once we have that, we can go down here, connect them. Once the rail is connected, see what you see. Everything goes red right away because they want to use all the power that we have. Now, just for reference, I added 2, the biggest medium voltage lines here and 3 of them here. So down here we can use about 7, a little over 7. Here we can use about 5, a little less than 5, like 4.5 megawatts of power. That's the max output that we can get. But having this once means that there will be more output from here, and half of them are connected to the power station, half of them are connected to this transformer over here. But now that we're adding these 6 megawatts over here, we should be able to go back and see that this line gets closer to 18 every time we use it. Now that does not necessarily mean that everything is fine, but everything should be better. And if we look around now, I'm looking at these green numbers, the less they go white, the better. I don't see anything white, and I don't see anything white over there, which just means even with the trains driving, we don't have as many issues. Now, what else can we do? Because the other thing that you see is that this one is pretty high to the max, and this one is definitely maxed out. So another thing that we can do is just add more nodes to the power network. How do we do that? Well, this power plant currently is connected to a power network through this line, and this line has a node that is available right here. With this node, we can add more power to the whole network by just connecting it to something, just like from the opposite side. If you do that, you also get more potential for your network. Now, I happen to know that there is a power line without a connection right here, and that's where we want to go. Once this is done, you will see a lot more power going through here. They yellow right away, which means they're pushing a lot of power to this area, which is great. But that also means that the single switch that we had down here can now handle more power. So you push a little bit of power from here and a lot more power from there. And overall, your whole network has a lot more power now, which also tells me this one's still at the max production 24, but I would assume that this power plant is getting closer. Earlier it was like 1/3 of a percent or down here somewhere, and now it's clearly a lot higher than that. It's not at the max because we only have one out and we're already getting 12-ish megawatts, and now we don't have any workers. So that's a problem too. This is a way that you can look at your power grids and figure out why things are not working. Your best tool is over here, the overlay, use the megawatts and go to really far away so you can actually see something. The second best tool is night. Just turn the night mode on and see what, where, when you can see some flickering of lights. But that's all I have. I hope this helps someone because I see this question a lot. Let's go from here. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you again next time. Bye.